100% discount. I'd love to be able to go solve your problem for you. And that's a bit of a summary of the power of Twitter. So what I'm going to show you here is, if you haven't done this, I highly encourage you to do it, is to go to Twitter and go look at the conversations that are being had about your brand. So I am going to go use a couple of different examples here, so I hope that that I don't make anybody upset. But we're going to go, the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a Best Buy search. So let's see what's Best Buy here. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here, and I did see a tweet earlier that was great in regards to employment brand. Where was it here? Oh, here it is. So here's a good one. Just saw Best Buy employees beautifying the park on downtown side of Stone Arch Bridge. Green thumbs up to you guys. So what a great example of a a store going out and doing something, but the impact that can have on your broader brand is fantastic. So that's a brief example. That's a live conversation, and someone just going out and simply seeing this and deciding to go share that with essentially the world from a Twitter's perspective. The next one I want to go test is, let's see here, and we'll go test Walmart here and see what comes up. So let's see what the conversations are like. So I did see one earlier that was, okay. And guys, by the way, there's not everything's always positive here, so that's part of it. So here's a great one. So Manny, retweet, 70% of Walmart management comes up from hourly employees. So that's and let's see, this was retweeted. Manny retweeted it from Greg. So Walmart. Here it is here. So fantastic, a fantastic piece of content, right? Where you as an organization. I mentioned to you last session that a tool called Hootsuite exists, and it's spelled Hootsuite, and it can actually allow you. You can set up monitors in it. So if anyone's talking about your brand, you can actually get fed notifications, and the opportunity then to discuss with these people is a huge opportunity. So. Anyhow, again, I know there's not all the time is it always very positive, but that's the nature of things. And sometimes people say, well, people are saying bad stuff about us on Twitter. Well, Twitter isn't the reason why people are saying good or bad things about your brand. And this is sometimes a bit of a newsflash that I have to remind people. People have been talking about your brand forever. They just have different platforms now to go broadcast it, and that's an opportunity, in my opinion, as organizations to go and help discuss if there's challenges with your employment brand. Then discuss that. The woman who updated the feedback on Walmart and the green employees. Well, that's an opportunity for Best Buy and the employees out in the community. That's an opportunity for Best Buy to send a message saying thanks very much. I appreciate the tweet. And hey, maybe you want to join our talent community, right? So while you're at it. So the next slide here I want to speak to is internal ads and job postings. So the other thing is I encourage you to go online, and my favorite is when you go online and look at your job postings, and those bullets that look so perfect in your Word document are big giant question marks. I'm not kidding you, they become question marks on many of the job boards. There's a lack of formatting that I find that happens sometimes, and I encourage you to go look at how your job postings look and feel, and also look at your competitors. And I'd ask yourself the question is which one would you apply to based on just what it looks like and what it says. So a couple of key things that I want to talk to here. When you think about postings, job postings are not, we talked about the job analysis and the job requirements. You wouldn't go put the job analysis and the job requirements you wouldn't use those as a marketing tool. And I think a lot of retailers have to think a little bit about what their postings look like, apply some of the marketing best practices, and think about your job advertising as a marketing activity, not an HR job requirement, job analysis document. So create something different, unique, and compelling. If you're hiring a produce clerk, say that you're looking for a produce ninja, for example. I know that sounds funny, but you'll get eyeballs, right? If you're looking for a leadership or team coach, maybe it's a coaching guru, for example. So have some fun with it because that will get eyeballs. If you look at the overall objective is to drive the right people into the pipeline. So don't let your poor job descriptions or your lack of marketing language in those job descriptions stop you from introducing your brand to potentially top talent. The next one is minimize the copy in your ad. We're living in the world of 140 characters or less. You need to be short and sweet and very direct on what the opportunity looks like. And essentially your goal is to drive viewers back to an online site. And this is ultimately where your career site is, or a landing page, for example. And again, your goal here is to appeal to the top candidates, or the candidates who are going to be a fit based on what you're looking for. So your career site, interesting stat that a recent study shows that over 90% of candidates who reach a career site do not apply. Now, as retailers, and as organizations, we spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month on advertising. Well, what a waste of advertising if you're only capturing 10% of the people that come back to your site. I believe that from a sourcing perspective and candidate experience perspective, your career site needs to be central to your strategy. And I think you need to have a good hard look at many retailers. And when you go to your sites, you typically in the standard practice is bury the jobs or careers link in size 7 font at the very bottom of the page, because it's really the site's built for consumers, which is a bit of a challenge because it can become difficult sometimes for those candidates to go in and find that site. My recommendation to every retailer is to go build a careers-focused or jobs-focused careers website, because it needs to be separate from that consumer site, and it needs to be a very different language. And there's two things you need to ask yourself about your online career site. Number one, is it a communications vehicle currently? And two, is it functional? So as a communications vehicle, there are a number of tools that can help you communicate the information and engage the candidate. Videos and testimonials, always best practice from what I've seen. Employee blogs, so take some of your top talent, maybe some of the talent that you met with during the job requirement session. You met some superstars there that says, hey, would you write a blog post every couple weeks for us to go post to our employment blog? This is very, very cost effective and takes minimal time. Recruitment newsletters, so maybe you want to release a monthly newsletter and let people go and actually sign up for that. Live chat is another thing that I'm starting to see grow, so putting recruiters on a live chat function, so when someone visits your careers website, they can chat live with the recruitment team. Recruiter response, so can someone go, someone who's top talent or your competitors, do they know who your recruiters are, the key people are, and can they connect with them on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn? I highly encourage you to go broadcast this, and we've seen some new best practices on websites. Microsoft has done this very effectively. They've taken all the recruiters, put the profiles of the recruiters on their site, what they typically recruit for, and encourage applicants to, maybe if they don't want to submit a resume, go connect or follow those recruiters to listen for job opportunities. So new best practice, and certainly a very scalable way to approach it. Is it functional? So is the site simple to find? For those of you on the call who have a current website or looking to build a current website, building a really fancy careers website in Flash is probably one of the worst things you can do, and I'll explain to you why. Number one is 9 times out of 10, the Flash program that is either installed on that person's computer or the Flash program you built it in needs to be updated. So someone literally needs to go download software to be able to go access your website. In my opinion, probably not the smartest move in the book. And the next piece is the search engines cannot pick up Flash content. So if you're trying to win the game of trying to build your employment brand awareness, building it in Flash is a huge issue because search engines won't even pick it up. Search engines don't recognize Flash coding. It needs to be very simple to navigate, and is it really clear on how to apply where the job opportunities are. Making sure that you've got a very clear careers link off your company's homepage. Does it only take 3 clicks? So when someone gets to even your company's homepage, are they 3 clicks away from being able to go see job postings and apply? A dedicated career microsite. So, we talked about this. There's little microsites and even landing pages, for that matter, that I think you can leverage technology to go customize the content for very, very specific types of people. So, a career microsite to me makes a heck of a lot of sense. And even if I've seen retailers go build microsites just strictly for management potentials, and then there's the frontline ones. The question around the 90% of people that don't join or that go to the site and don't sign up, you need to think about this from a marketing and sales perspective. So lead capture forms. There's simple ways for these people to go and essentially join your organization by updating a form. And maybe it's only first name, last name, email address, and phone number. It's better than nothing. So some of the key points in the application process. I've actually got a poll coming up here fairly shortly. Some key points. If it takes more than 10 minutes to apply to your organization, it is way, way too long in my opinion. And you may be okay now because of the ample candidates that are available in the market, but when the market shifts, do you think they're going to spend 10 minutes or even 25 minutes filling out, monotonous surveys and information? So a couple things on that note. One, you need likely better recruitment technology to get this down. You need a very, very short and concise pre-screen tool. And number three is you need to buy recruitment technology that's got resume extraction software. So someone should be able to upload their resume, and that resume then gets parsed out into all the fields instead of having to ask them to fill out 45 fields on a web page. Is it very simple to apply? So is it simple to state interest and simple to submit an application? Do they have the option to upload or build their resume, for example? And the other piece of this is when applicants and candidates are ready to apply, it's important to let them know really three things. Number one, how long is the application process and what type of information will they need to complete it? Two, your communication process and follow-up they should expect to receive after they apply, and being really clear on expectations there. And I think the days of thank you for your application. If we feel you're qualified, someone will contact you. Well, I don't know if that's really driving a great candidate experience, in my opinion. And then finally, if there's an opportunity to leave their email address and receive updates. So beyond applying, is there things that they can join, like a talent community or maybe a management type level role? Can they join your LinkedIn group? Can they follow you on Twitter? Is there ways that they can follow you beyond just applying for a job? Some of the alternatives that I want to speak with, and I've got another about 5 minutes here, then I'm going to be complete, and then I'm going to pass it over to Jerry for question and answers here. What about the 90% who don't apply? Lose them or capture them, and basically, if you don't, not everyone that goes to your website is going to have a resume, and not everyone that goes to your website is going to want to apply right away, but they may want to sign up for job alerts, they may want to sign up to your blog, they may want to sign up and be up to date on new store openings or news. So I think you should put some thought into that on how you go and build that out. A talent network is basically what we use and how we've defined it. It's a very simple lead form on a landing page that they can sign up, give you information, very similar to a lead on a corporate website. So it's a great alternative to having them go upload a resume. And again, these are strategies to capture that 90%. 10% who are going there, obviously, they're applying, they're uploading the resume, but the other 90%, how do you get some basic information from them and communicate out to them? They may give them the option to sign up for job alerts, newsletters, new store opening news, awards you maybe you've recently won, and potentially invitations to upcoming career events or events in your local area. So the final slide here I want to talk to is the interview and hiring and onboarding process, and some ideas around this. You can get your district managers or store managers, and maybe the suggestion is to hold a training session with all employees and educate them on the meaning of the candidate experience and how they can positively impact it. Create a checklist for hiring managers during the interview process that shows them how they can help create a more positive candidate experience. Consider developing a formal recruiter communications program. Maybe develop an interview toolkit with customized thank you cards, e-cards, and letters, and I think that would be a really unique way, and I don't see a lot of retailers do a very effective job of that, which provides an opportunity. Send a new hire package after the offer is accepted and include a toolkit to help the candidate prepare for day one. We call this the buyer beware, buyer remorse, right? Somebody makes a big decision to join your organization, they get hired, and then a lot of the time there's this kind of black hole of a week and a half where they don't hear anything from the organization. They show up for their first shift, and then they're ready to go. And I think that organizations can look and retailers can look at a better way. Is there a new hire package that can help them prepare for day one? Maybe they've got a card in that package signed by all the fellow employees welcoming them to their team. Maybe you encourage them to join your Facebook group that's dedicated to that store or that Facebook fan page. They can start to get to know what people look like. And then finally, your goal is to ultimately engage these new employees before they even step through the door. Measuring the experience, 3 key ways. External surveys, so you can send out external surveys to candidates who went through the recruitment process and even ones who declined offers. The next piece is internal surveys and focus groups. You can look at in asking your current employees what do they feel about the process, and doing that either through online surveys or even focus groups. Career site,